and welcome back to my channel. Hi guys, if you're new here, I'm Tiana. So this week I wanted to start a segment called the Tea with Tea. So for those of you who do not know me, I am a hairstylist. It's pretty much my full-time job. That's what I do all the time. So I really wanted to give people the opportunity to use me in other ways. When people sit in my chair, the first thing they do, we get to chatting, we get to talking, and 90% of the time we're talking about something that they need advice on or just venting. And I absolutely adore this about my profession because I feel this personal connect to my clients, and I've been told that I give great advice. So I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to get that same advice from me without having to sit in my chair necessarily. So we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So here's the tea. I had you guys send in some situations that you needed advice on, and through those messages, I've sorted through a few that I feel really good about. So if I didn't get to your message this week, just know you can always email me or DM me and we'll get into it the next week. I'm gonna try to make this something consistent because I feel if I can help in any way, which is something that I love to do in general, then I'm going to. So I have my tea here and my tea here. Let's get into it. Hey Tiana, first let me say that I'm so happy you started a channel. Your first video was so natural and authentic. I loved it. And the confessions video with Harami was so good. Thank you. So here I am jumping at the opportunity to get some much needed advice. So I've been with my husband for 10 years, married 6, and we have 3 children together. And like in most marriages / relationships, we had our ups and downs, but nothing too serious until I found out he was having an affair. Worst depression of my life, I was hospitalized and all. So as heartbroken as I was still seeking comfort from the person who broke my heart, and I stayed. So now here we are 4 months later, and now he's accusing me. He's searching through my phone secretly, he's become super insecure, and I feel completely lost because I have done nothing in these 10 years. I feel better for letting it out. I'm sorry it's so long, but I hope to get some of that great hairdresser advice. Thank you. Okay, so first off, 2 scenarios popped in my head when I heard this. The first scenario is usually, sometimes when people are guilty and they're carrying a lot of guilt, they try to find that person that they're with. They try to find something on them to make themselves feel like they're not the only bad guy. The second one that came to mind is he's probably really fearful that you're going to seek revenge on him. And, that just comes from a place of him knowing how bad of a mistake he made, knowing how bad he hurt you. I mean, obviously you guys have tons of history, you have children involved, so it's very complicated. And I know that it takes a lot for you to say that you stayed. And I know that sometimes it feels like it's the wrong thing to do when you're like, yeah, I stayed. But don't feel that way, because sometimes that comfort level that you have with him, and the children, and you're staying for probably more reasons than just your relationship. And I commend you for that. I think it takes a strong person to stay in a situation like that. So I really feel really heavy for you, because I know that it's difficult to forgive someone, to move forward, and to really let it go, you know what I mean? So at this point, you guys could either go to marriage counseling or really just sit down and have a serious conversation with one another. Is this relationship salvageable? Is this marriage salvageable? For me, and the way that I view marriage is till death, right? But he broke his commitment to you, and obviously it's destroyed you and your self-confidence and the way that you think about yourself and the way that you see your family and the way that you perceive your husband to be. And I understand that it could really alter the way that you see things going, but you need to pray really hard and ask God to just give you guidance in your situation, and really have a serious conversation and say do we want to be miserable, or do we want to move forward and forgive and, just see the other side of the situation? It's not going to happen overnight. You don't want to reheat someone's sins for breakfast. So that's going to take a lot of strength on your end. But at the end of the day, if there's love there, then, and you guys can find that love in your heart to like forgive and like move forward, but it's got to come from both sides, because clearly he's hurt that he hurt you, and he's so hurt that he's scared that you're going to do something to hurt him. You know what I mean? So just really look within your relationship and, you know, get with each other, and maybe take some time apart, maybe go away like for a weekend without the kids, and see if you guys can have a conversation and rekindle a little bit of what you guys felt like you lost. That's what I would do. I'm praying for you. I hope that things take a turn for the better, and thank you for trusting me with this story. Okay, also, if any of you guys have ever been in situations that sound similar to what I'm reading off, like, let's get in the comments, let's kind of get together and put our brains together and kind of figure out what it could be. I mean, obviously I'm giving the advice, but hey, if you guys have any suggestions or any experience in any type of situation that's very similar, then drop a comment below. All right, so let's get into the second one. I've been with my boyfriend almost 2 years now. He's always working, and when he's finally off, he's usually spending time with me. I know he loves me and wants to have a future with me, but here's where my problem kicks in. He supports his sister, and I keep seeing that as a red flag. He's 27 and she's 32 with 3 kids and hasn't worked in years. He doesn't make much money, but from what he does make, he pays her bills, and when she asks for money, which is weekly, he always brings it to her. I ask him about when he's going to stop, and he gives me a date and always ends up changing it, saying he's only helping her until she can get back on her feet. But it's been a year and I don't see her making any effort to try and get a job. I can't envision a future with someone supporting someone else that's capable of supporting themselves. I plan on having my own house one day, but the way things are looking, she wants to be financed for life. What do I do? Am I wrong for feeling some type of way about it? Girl, you are not wrong. But I will say this, and here's a life hack for everybody. In a situation like this, life hack, and this is something that I've like implemented in so many people that are a part of my life, like that have ever asked me for advice ever. It is not what you say, but it is how you say it. So obviously, I know you love your boyfriend. You know, obviously he loves his sister so much that he's supporting her. Do I agree? Absolutely not. But there are ways to go about really expressing, you know what I mean? If I were you, if I was in this situation, I would say, let's take your sister out to dinner, you, me, and her. No kids, nobody, like, let's go out to dinner. And you just need to tell her and get in unison with him. Like, listen, we love you. Like, obviously you're family to us. Like, we want to help you as much as we can. But like, for the plans that we have with one another, we want to grow, we want to move forward, we want to help you grow. We have to push ourselves into another chapter of our lives, but it's really difficult to do when we're supporting you. And of course we're supporting you because we love you and we don't want you to struggle, but we want to see you grow as well. So in order to do that, like, you know, you have to get a job. We'll help you with the kids if you need help with the kids, or, you know, we'll find the help that you need, but it's gonna be really difficult for him and I to move forward as a couple if we're supporting you, you know? Like, we love you, we want to see you enter into new chapters of your life and be happy, but it's really going to be hard for us to find that, you know, motivation to move forward as a couple with a wedding, or, you know, buying a house or having children if we're supporting you. And, you know, it's not to say that we don't like supporting you, but we feel like, you know, the time is coming where we're not going to be able to anymore because we have to put our plans into action, and it's just coming to an end. And we want to give you an opportunity to find a job, and I can help you with a resume. I can, you know, talk to some people if you want me to help you talk to some people, but, you know, the time is coming to an end, if that makes sense. So never what you have to say, always how you say it. Because at the end of the day, like, I can tell somebody like, I don't like the way that looks on you. Or I could say, you know what, I think something else would flatter you better. Like, it's just the way that you say things in everything in life. Like, I feel like that's like major key in communication. And this situation is one of those, because you could easily, you know, get annoyed with him and communicate to him. But as a woman, you need to communicate with her and make sure that he's in unison with you, so that when you guys have that conversation, he can't go back on his word because he's sitting right next to you. You know what I mean? So that is the tea. All right, here's the next tea. I love this idea since I feel my family and friends won't be able to give me fair advice. I would like this to be anonymous. When I got pregnant with my son, his father lied to me and we decided to go our separate ways months after I found out he had a relationship with someone else. He was there for my son when he was born for about 6 months and everything was just normal. Then I was stupid enough to get intimate with him. As much as I kept trying to stop it, we kept going for almost 6 years. He still is in the same relationship since my pregnancy and now they're engaged. Whoa. We stopped for a few months and then we go back. I'm determined to put myself first now, but I feel so bad for the girl. I don't know if I should come clean and let her make the decision if she wants to keep her engagement, or I should just mind my business. Since I also fear she won't treat my son the same since she didn't know about us. He told me they broke up when she knew about me and the baby, but for whatever reason they got back together and 5 years later they're engaged. I don't know if I need to tell the truth or not. Girl, I will say, me being an engaged woman, like I have a ring on my finger, we're planning a life together. I mean, we haven't been together for 5 years, been together for 3, but I feel like, you know, you guys obviously have a child together. So like that bond is a whole different bond than just an engagement. So you have, you know, a different type of hold on this man than this woman does because she doesn't have a baby with him, you know? Granted, you didn't know that they were in a relationship and, you know, things kind of took a turn for the worse and then you guys got back together. Obviously, I know you said you're trying to put yourself first now. But me being engaged, like if I was engaged to someone that was doing this to me, I would want to make the decision for myself whether or not I would want to stay and, you know, put up with this type of situation where like you guys have obviously a chemistry because you guys are still seeing each other. I would want to be able to make the decision because I'm going to be spending my life with this person. You know, probably get the easier side of him where, you know, you only see him every so often, but she's doing, you know, the things at home, like as a wife, and, you know, she's going to eventually, I'm sure, have one of his children, and it would be unfair for her to not be able to decide if this is who she wants to spend the rest of her life with. You know, like I said, maybe you guys won't end up together, but I do feel like she has the right to know, because at the end of the day, a marriage is a commitment, and she has the means right now to be able to decide, like, you know what, like, this situation isn't for me, I deserve better, and, you know, I just don't feel like I want to be a part of this. She has the right to decide if she wants to remove herself from this equation. So I feel like it's only right for you to tell her, and I don't think that you should fear about, you know, her treating your son differently, because at the end of the day, a child is a child, and I don't think she'll take it out on your child. You know, obviously she's going to take it up with you and him, but, you know, your child is, you know, you have the right to decide if you even want to send him over there, you know, during all this time, but you should tell her, because a marriage is a big deal, and I would want to know that I'm making the right decision when I give my life to someone and decide to be their wife. I want to know that I'm going to be safe with this person. And clearly he has real feelings for you because it's been going on for so long. So she's not necessarily in the most safe predicament. So that's what I would do. But you're definitely moving in the right direction with even wanting to tell her. That shows a lot of growth on your part, and I don't think that you should be, obviously I know that it's like tough to say that, you know, you were doing this to her, but, you know, kudos to you for actually admitting it and saying, you know, I need to remove myself, but she does have the right to know before she does make such a big commitment. So thanks for writing in. All right, last tea, guys. This is the last one. If any of you guys want to send in any and you don't want to, like, you know, want me to know your Instagram, I will put my email down in the description below. So next week I will do more. Hopefully I will get more because I really enjoy doing this. So here's the last tea. Me and my fiance, we are obviously new parents, so a lot of my focus has gone towards the baby. And I know that you're not a mom, but I guess I can use some advice on how to show more love to my partner. Like, what are your ways that you show love to your partner? Little things that excite him, or little things that you do to show him that you are still thinking of him. We are still very happy, but I would like to make him feel more appreciated and not feel like a robot all the time, because I want to show him that he's amazing and I want him to know how much I love him. This is very sweet. And like you said, I am not a mother. But, you know, I have dogs, I have a couple businesses, I am pretty busy myself, but I can only imagine, like, when you have a baby, I know that people say that, like, it's very common for your focus to shift because you guys are so obsessed with your baby and the love is there and the love is real. So you guys are just like all the way into the baby. But I think like, and you know, even my fiance and I have at some point have scheduled like say, hey, okay, date nights are on this night. Like get a babysitter, you know, if it's your mom, if it's his mom, like a month in advance, like, you know, we need a babysitter on this day every single month. Like on this Sunday or on this Saturday of every single month, and kind of like plan your date night accordingly, depending. Do something different every single month just to make sure that you guys are still staying connected and you're still being, you know, well, I know you guys are engaged, a couple aside from just being parents, because prior to baby, you guys were probably a lot more in sync, but obviously things get busy and you go to work and like, you know, things get a lot harder, and then baby's like on top of you and sleeping with you, and it just gets really difficult to keep that spark alive. Like I said, I'm not a mom, but I can definitely resonate. I have mom friends, so I know that it's difficult, but planning date nights or just like knowing your partner really well. Like for me, I know that my man obviously loves food. So if it's like food, I know I'm gonna cook something that I know he really likes, or, you know, buy his favorite candy and like put it, you know, next to his favorite beer, like whatever. I will come up with a way, like just like little reminders here and there. And then obviously have those date nights. I feel like date nights are the way, you know, to kind of re-spark things. And if you can have the baby spend the night with your in-law, even better, because obviously I know that that kind of gets a little bit shifted as well. Like it's really important to stay friends in your relationship, because of essentially your best friend in a relationship is going to make the best partner, and it's going to make you closer. So in order to stay close, you have to continue to water that relationship. Can't let it go dry. So date nights, little things, like if you know, for instance, like if you know your man like loves Star Wars, like plan a little Star Wars theme, like, you know, dinner date, like where maybe the baby goes down at 7 and you guys like, you know, have dinner, and then like a Star Wars marathon, you grab the candy, like little things like that. It has to be about him. If you want to make it about him, and if you guys want to make it about each other, then maybe doing like talk off or just going to the movies, not anymore, but you know, little things that will really like rekindle the things that you guys loved about one another in the first place. That's what I would do. All right, guys, so that pretty much concludes my tea with tea. If any of you guys have any suggestions for me, please leave them down in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm hoping to keep something like this going consistently because, like I said, I really do enjoy it. Being a hairstylist, it's just kind of like a gift, I think. Like, I'm not the greatest at advice, but it does come naturally for me to give it because people are constantly sharing me their day-to-day or like situations with their families or their spouse or their boyfriend or their girlfriend or their best friend. I've had people cry in my chair. I've had people, you know, laugh in my chair. We've done it all. And I just want to give people the opportunity to find that advice. Because some people don't even talk to their hairstylist, honestly, and I find that to be so sad. I love to build relationships, and I love when people confide in me because I feel like sometimes it's easier to hear advice from someone you don't know because it's not coming from a biased opinion, or you know what I mean? It's really coming from someone who just doesn't know anything about you or just doesn't really know the logistics of the situation. It's just easier to take advice from somebody that doesn't know you all the way. You know what I mean? So I really hope that we can continue to do this. I hope everybody is having a great week, and I will be back with more videos. Bye, guys.